our pleasure to welcome today Mr. Sanjaya Baru, General Secretary of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, to talk about the Indo-Pacific, that's very relevant new strategic region. Mr. Baru, what can you tell us about the different connectivity initiatives that are going on now at this moment in Eurasia and the whole Indo-Pacific region, mainly the Belt and Road Initiative and the Free and Open Indo-Pacific? How do you think that this initiative could relate between themselves?
Well, you know, the Indo-Pacific as a region has been a very, very important maritime region of activity for India for 1,000 years. If you go to Vietnam, you see Hindu temples there, which show that we were dealing with Vietnam 1,000 years back. We have had trade relations with all of the Southeast Asian and East Asian region. But during the Cold War, and because of our own inward-looking economic policies, these trade relations were reduced, or in fact virtually cut off. In the last 20 years, we have had a look east policy and now an act east policy, and we are reaching out to this region. The Belt and Road Initiative is a Chinese initiative on the Eurasian side. That has nothing to do with our own initiative in the Indo-Pacific to rebuild our relations with the region.
But there are some concerns related with the Belt and Road Initiative, mainly with regard of sovereignty issues in the case of India, but also regarding the quality of the infrastructure or the conditions attached to Chinese financing. They are like the Free and Open Indo-Pacific. You know, it argues that the standards relating with those investments, the infrastructure and so on, will be much more better and more according to international standards. And do you think that this could be maybe also an opportunity for Chinese initiative to try to adjust more to those international standards, or do you think that this is something that China will be leading without having some kind of dialogue with the other initiative?
Well, the Belt and Road Initiative is a Chinese national initiative, and countries which want to take advantage of that in order to build infrastructure are welcome to do that. I think we have had a problem with the fact that the rail and road line that the Chinese are trying to build through Pakistan goes through Indian territory, which was annexed by China and by Pakistan. So we have a political problem. But otherwise, you know, it's an initiative of China, and I would say nothing more than that. I think the Chinese are increasingly becoming more professional in their financial institutions. So they are looking at returns to lending. They are not willing to lend at below market rates, and that is of course creating some problem for the countries that have borrowed too much from China. But as far as India is concerned, our interest is in our own neighborhood. Our neighborhood is both to our east and west, which is West Asia, Iran, as well as Southeast Asia and East Asia. And we want to increase our economic links with this region.
And do you think that the European countries could play a significant role in this Indo-Pacific region?
Certainly, I think European countries can play an important role in ensuring that the infrastructure in that region becomes better. They have investment opportunities. India is seeking investment in shipbuilding, port development, and regional connectivity. That offers an opportunity for European economies, European companies. But second, Europe also has an obligation to ensure peace and stability in the Pacific, Pacific region. And I think France, for example, is active in the Indian Ocean and the Indo-Pacific region. Certainly, the European Union has strategic interests in that region, which will require you to invest in that region.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.